Hey, crime connoisseurs. If you're like me, you love diving into a good book. I especially love finding a book about cases we cover. But sometimes it's hard to find the time to sit and read. We live in an on-the-go society. Thankfully, Audible makes it easy to instantly access the books we love without sacrificing our time. With over 180,000 audiobooks and more, you will undoubtedly find one that will grip you and leave you not wanting to pull away while still being able to do other things. You can get a free 30-day trial membership by going to audibletrial.com/ccpod to start listening to your favorite books. That's audibletrial.com/ccpod for your free 30-day trial membership. Hey, all my fellow crime connoisseurs. I'm your host, Grace D. And before we get started with today's episode, I just want to apologize for the delay that it's been in getting this out to you. There are some things going on in my personal life right now that I've really had to just take a step back and do what is necessary for myself. And I think that's very important for everyone to do. So I do apologize, and I do promise to make a much better attempt in the future to not have it be the period in time that it was, and that I'll be more forward with you guys. So when I say like, hey, I need a break, we're going to take a little hiatus, we'll have new episodes coming back this week. I'm going to be more diligent with that. So with that being said, I started doing this episode and it was back in October. Now, most people know that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But did you know that it's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month? So in this week's case, we're going to be covering one. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men are victims of domestic violence. And between the ages of 16 to 24 are the highest rates of intimate partner violence. Now, that's not to say that it can't happen at any age. Today's case is a long one, but I didn't want to make you guys wait on a part 2 by breaking it up. But before we begin, I want to give everyone a massive trigger warning. Topics that will be covered in this case include domestic violence, sexual abuse, and suicide. Listener discretion is advised. A young woman who's a star athlete goes away to college at a university that prides itself on saying they are the safest school around. Unfortunately, that seemed to be all smoke and mirrors for this young woman. Things quickly spiraled out of control from top athlete and student to noticeable changes in appearance and behavior. This is the case of Lauren McCluskey. Lauren McCluskey was born in Berkeley, California on February 12, 1997. Her parents, Jill and Matthew McCluskey, both joined Washington State University as professors in 1998, and the family moved to Pullman, Washington. She was bright, sensitive, and very active from an early age. She fearlessly climbed trees and climbing walls. Lauren entered her first Junior Olympic Association track meet at 8 years old and set the Junior Olympic records in the high jump, long jump, and 400-meter run. At age 9, she was told that if she qualified for nationals, she could go. And to no surprise to those who knew her, she qualified for nationals in the 9 to 10-year-old age group. She continued to compete nationally in the high jump, hurdles, and multi-events, earning USA Track and Field All-American Top 8 19 times and setting many USA Track and Field Association youth records, 12 of which still stand, and the Junior Under-20 Association record for the heptathlon. Being a heptathlete meant that Lauren competed in 7 events. As she competed nationally, she made friends with athletes, their families, and coaches across the United States. As a high school freshman, she was Washington State High School champion in high jump and second in the 100-meter hurdles. In her sophomore year, she high jumped 5'6" before pulling her hamstring. She spent her junior year training at Spire, attending Andrews Osborne Academy in Ohio, and returning to Pullman for her senior year of high school. At the 2015 Washington State High School meet, she qualified in 4 events, scoring in 3, helping her team place 3rd overall in the state. Lauren set the Pullman High record for the 100-meter hurdles. That year, she placed 9th at the U.S. Junior Under-20 Championships in the heptathlon. Lauren graduated from Pullman High in 2016 with honors and accepted a track and field scholarship at the University of Utah, U of U as it's often referred to compete in the Pac-12 conference. At Utah, she competed in multi-events and high jump. She was a loyal Ute and rooted for them with such spirit. She earned Pac-12 honorable mention and MPSF All-Academic Awards and is 10th on the all-time performance list for the Utes in the pentathlon. Life in Salt Lake was an adjustment for Lauren. Salt Lake City was a much larger city than when she grew up in Pullman's quiet small town. As time went on, Lauren blossomed. She had busy and fun academic, athletic, and social routines by the fall of her senior year. She was a model student athlete. Lauren had a 3.77 GPA and applied to graduate in the spring of 2019 with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Communications. On September 2, 2018, Lauren McCluskey and her friend Alex, her freshman roommate, went to the London Bell, a Salt Lake City bar. Lauren met 28-year-old Sean Fields, who worked there as a bouncer. He was described as a huge, muscular, built like a football player type guy. The place was filling up, but the girls found a table in the back. Sean stopped by several times to talk. According to Alex, something was up with Lauren that night. She didn't seem like herself. Her shy intensity wasn't there. Alex found Sean abrasive, but she could understand why other people found him charming and why Lauren was attracted to him. Around midnight, when Alex and Lauren were ready to leave, Lauren wrote her phone number on a napkin to give to Sean if they ran into each other. The place was so packed that they were sure they wouldn't see him. They pushed through the crowd toward the door, Lauren leading the way, and there he was. Lauren gave him the napkin and ran ahead of Alex, as if half panicked at her own boldness. Sean began texting Lauren later that night. At church the next morning, Lauren told Alex that she and Sean were going on a date later that day. Shortly after, Lauren and Sean began dating. He often visited Lauren at her residence hall and quickly built friendships with the other students. A few weeks after they started dating, Sean took Lauren pistol shooting with him and his friends. Unfortunately, Sean became controlling of Lauren, wanting to know where she was and who she was with. He would get angry if she didn't answer his phone calls or respond to his text messages right away. Lauren told her friends it was because his ex-girlfriend had cheated on him and she needed to earn his trust. On September 26th, Lauren called 2 of her friends. She said Sean wouldn't let her hang out with friends. They felt that she didn't sound right and noticed that her physical appearance had begun to change that week. They believed that she was being taken advantage of by Sean. 4 days later, on September 30th, 2 of Lauren's friends told staff at the U of U dorms that they were scared about Sean's control over her, about how he talked about guns and often stayed in her room. This was a great move by her friends for recognizing the red flags in the relationship and how they attempted to get help for their friend the best way that they knew how and reported him to the university staff. That report, and others to housing officials in the days that followed, were not passed to campus police or the campus behavioral team who may have been able to intervene. Housing officials were aware that people who knew Lauren were especially concerned that she could be hurt. Yet their focus remained on whether a housing policy violation had occurred. When friend and head RA Diamond Jackson was informed by Lauren's friends of their concerns, including Sean wanting Lauren to get a gun and his demanding, controlling behavior, Diamond informed her supervisor to figure out what next steps should be taken. Diamond emailed the supervisor on October 2nd, 2018 with the following concerns. Lauren may be in a harmful relationship. A non-resident boyfriend has been staying with Lauren and the roommate. The boyfriend may be getting a gun to keep with her. Concern that the boyfriend may be tracking Lauren. Lauren is not taking care of herself. And 2 of Lauren's friends came forward with the information and are concerned for Lauren's safety. A few days later, Lauren learned Sean's real identity. She had seen her boyfriend's ID card, whose real name was Melvin Sean Rowlands. His name wasn't the only thing that he lied about. He had also lied about his age. He was 37. Lauren briefly went home to Pullman, Washington for a few days over fall break. At home during the break, Lauren met up with her best friend from high school, Regina Snyder. They went to a favorite gastropub, Birch and Barley. Lauren had been doing some research and told Regina there was something strange about her boyfriend. They sat in a corner booth for an hour in the nearly empty restaurant and scrolled through Lauren's phone searching for answers. The results showed a photo resembling Sean and confirmed his real name was Melvin. Not only had Melvin been lying about his name and age, but it turned out he had another big secret. One for the other lies. Melvin was registered as a sex offender convicted of sex crimes in 2004. The offenses were enticing a minor, a second-degree felony, and forcible sexual abuse, attempted, a third-degree felony. Lauren returned to Salt Lake City the next day and was planning on confronting Melvin and break up with him. Melvin had her car while she was back home, and she needed to get it back. She told her friend Alex about everything, and Alex didn't want her to break up with him while on campus, since it was still fall break and no one was around. She wanted her to do it somewhere public where she'd be safe. On October 9th, Lauren invited Roland to her dorm room. Once inside, she confronted him with the information that she had found out about him and broke off their relationship. He admitted to his sex offender status and real name, but continued to deny the age difference. Lauren told Alex that Melvin forced himself on her several times that night. She allowed Melvin to borrow her car the next day to run errands and to try and calm him down and defuse the situation. Earlier the next day, Lauren began receiving text messages supposedly from Melvin's friends. Some text urged Lauren to kill herself. Lauren's mom, Jill, contacted campus dispatch, upset and worried, and wanted to request campus security to help Lauren retrieve her vehicle from Melvin. Jill informed them of Melvin being a sex offender, Lauren breaking up with him still having her car, and her concern for her daughter's safety. I'm going to play the recording of the call that Jill McCluskey made on behalf of her daughter. It's just over 3 minutes long, so I'm going to play it in its entirety.
University Police Security, open my office. Hi, I would like to request some help from my daughter, who's a student at University of Utah.
Okay. What is the situation exactly? What does your daughter need help with?
Okay. So she was dating someone who's not a student, and he has her car.
Sorry.
And he has her car.
Okay.
And he's supposed to return. She broke up with him, and he's supposed to return it to the parking lot at the stadium.
Uh-huh.
And I'm worried that he's dangerous.
Okay. We can definitely have someone help her out. Can you have your daughter give us a call?
Can you guys call her?
Yeah. What's her phone number?
Okay. It's Okay, so let me tell you just a little bit more. So he was lying to her, and he's actually a sexual offender.
Okay.
And lied about his age and things like that.
Okay.
And then he has her car, and he wants her to return. One of his friends wants her to return the car to the stadium parking lot at 5:00. And since it's fall break, a bunch of her friends aren't there, so I'm worried she's going to go there alone and someone's going to hurt her.
Definitely. Okay. Yeah. And you said the area code is. And what was her name?
Yeah, so she's an out-of-state. Her name is Lauren McCluskey. She was on the track team. She's an out-of-state student, and she started dating this guy there who's like a bad person.
Okay.
And she found out he's a bad person, and she broke up with him, and he has her car.
Definitely. Let me give her a call real quick, and we will figure something out. Okay.
Okay. So I would just like someone to accompany her because a bunch of her friends are out of town. I don't want her to go there by herself and have like something bad happen to her.
Definitely. I will give her a call. Did you want me to give you a call back or like,
yeah, if you could give me a call back, that'd be good.
Okay, what was your name?
Jill.
Jill?
I'm also 1042.
Okay.
I don't know.
Perfect. It's gonna be okay, Jill. Let me give Lauren a call real quick and figure something out with her, okay? Because that would be totally easy for us to send someone with her. I wouldn't want her to going into a bad situation by herself. So let me give her a call real quick. Yeah, no problem, Jill. I will give you a call back in a little bit, okay? Okay, thanks, Jill. Bye-bye.
You can just hear the desperation in Jill's voice, pleading for someone to help her daughter just so she could be safe. And the dispatcher did a great job with listening to Jill with everything that she had to say and assuring her and then saying, would you like us to call you back after we talk to Lauren? Like, that was good to help ease Jill's nerves. I mean, they still were shot and you could tell she was a nervous wreck, but something. She was trying to, help her cope, especially given the fact that she's hundreds of miles away from her daughter. She's states away. 21 minutes later, the dispatcher contacted Lauren, saying that Melvin would drop the car at her apartment. I'm going to play the call between Lauren and the dispatcher because I feel it's very important for you guys to hear how this dispatcher interacted with Lauren and how confused and scared of saying the wrong thing that Lauren was. It's almost 6 minutes long, but it's so important for you guys to hear it in its entirety.
Hello?
Hi, is this Lauren?
Yeah.
Hi, this is University Police. I got a call from your mom about, I guess, a car drop-off that you're going to be doing, or someone dropping off your car, and she was a little bit worried about it. I was wondering if I can ask you a few questions and then maybe send someone with you or have someone meet you there when you're going to drop off the car.
Uncover the secrets of your dog's DNA with Wisdom Panel, the world's leading canine genetics test. With a simple cheek swab, Wisdom Panel can reveal your dog's breed, ancestry, health traits, and so much more. Understanding your dog's genetic background can help you provide the best care possible. Whether it's identifying potential health risks, understanding their behavior, or simply satisfying your curiosity about your dog's unique heritage, Wisdom Panel delivers the insights you need. Their state-of-the-art technology analyzes over 350 breeds, types, and varieties, and screens for over 200 genetic health conditions. Plus, their easy-to-understand reports make it simple to learn about your dog's genetics. Join the millions of pet parents discovering their dog's story with Wisdom Panel. Order your kit today and start exploring your dog's DNA. Because every dog has a tale, and Wisdom Panel helps you tell it. Go to wisdompanel.pxf.io/ccpod to learn more about your four-legged friend. That's wisdompanel.pxf.io/ccpod.
Okay. I think the car will be dropped off.
Okay, so she said it was your ex-boyfriend's dropping off your car.
One of his friends, yeah.
Okay, and sorry, he's dropping off where? For some reason I thought she was saying the stadium.
I'm not sure. At first it was going to be at the stadium, but he was asking to drop it off at my place, so
okay.
I might just have it dropped off at one of the buildings by mine.
Do you live on campus?
So, yes.
Okay, and where do you live on campus? I'm assuming it's at the dorms? Okay, do you feel comfortable with him doing that? I know your mom was really concerned about it.
I think it's okay.
Okay, because if it's all right with you, I mean, we're here 24/7. I'm super cool. You could come hang out here and have him drop it off here. We have a parking lot on the east side of our building. It's the police department on campus. It's right by the South Stadium tracks. We could even have a security officer pick you up at your dorm and drop you off here so you can wait here for him to leave your vehicle. Especially, I mean, it sounds like, I mean, I don't know how you feel about the situation. I don't want to misinterpret just based off of what your mom was saying, but she definitely seemed worried about it. So if you wanted to and you felt comfortable, you could come hang out here with us. I mean, it's just a bunch of college kids here. I mean, there's some adults, obviously. We work for the police, but, you know, you can come hang out with us when he drops it off. Or I know she wanted someone to be there with you when the car gets dropped off, which would definitely make me feel more comfortable about that situation. But I don't want to put you out of your comfort zone. I know that's kind of weird, especially if you haven't dealt with the police before. Just having an officer hang out with you while someone drops off a car can be weird.
I think I would just want to have it dropped off here, but
okay,
I'll call if I need to.
Well, okay. Is it all right if I have a security officer at least in the area when it's getting dropped off in case you need anything?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, and what time is it getting dropped off?
5.
At 5?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is, what building did you say it was again? Okay, I'm looking at my map. It looks like the closest parking lot is the parking lot kind of in front of 825. It's like kitty-cornered.
Yeah.
Okay, is that going to be the closest parking lot, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
And what type of car is it?
It's a Jeep Liberty. It's green.
Okay. And the guy who's dropping off, what's his name? And his last name?
Not sure what's his last name.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Let's see. I'm not sure what his last name is.
Okay. Do you know, is he a student on campus?
I don't believe so.
Okay. All right. So I will give my security officers just a little bit of heads up in case you need anything. And we'll go from there. If you change your mind last minute or anything like that, we have some really cool security officers. We have some new, we have a couple of new cops on campus that are always looking for like extra stuff to do while they're finishing up their training. Anything like that, you just let me know, Lauren. My name's, and I'll be here until 6 p.m.
Okay.
So if you need anything, just let us know. It's the only other person working with me. So if you give us a call back at just the 585 COPS or 585-2677 number and let us know, we can send someone out to help you or, anything you need, especially if the situation gets uncomfortable. Please don't hesitate to give us a call.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks,
Thank
Lauren.
you.
Bye-bye.
So the reason I wanted you guys to hear that in its entirety is because you can hear how sincere the dispatcher is and trying to really reassure Lauren and make sure that she is okay. She recognizes that her mom is really worried, but she also wants to hear from Lauren and not make assumptions just based off of one person's statement to her. She's really trying to convince Lauren to come to the police station and let the car be dropped off there for safety reasons. This was so great on the dispatcher to take the extra steps to offer Lauren a sense of safety and security. But unfortunately, as so many other things with this case, this is the only time that I will be saying that throughout the rest of this case. And it is a shame that this dispatcher was not part of this situation more, because there are nearly 20 phone calls between the campus police and Salt Lake City police with Lauren and her parents. Melvin is seen on security cameras dropping off the car and then leaving. On October 12th, Lauren McCluskey contacted the university police for the first time, reporting that she had received suspicious messages that she believed were from Melvin's friends. The text said that he got into an accident and was dead, and that it was all her fault. But she found he had recently posted on social media disproving this claim. Such posts also violated Melvin's parole terms, prohibiting him from using social media. She also received a text message from Melvin saying that he's alive. She received text later asking if she wanted to go to a funeral, his funeral. Lauren told the officer that she did not feel in danger or threatened by the text, but felt his friends were trying to lure her somewhere. The dispatcher asked if she asked the numbers to stop texting her. She said she had already blocked several of the numbers. The dispatcher then informed Lauren that they'd be sending the information to an officer to give her a call, but no call ever came. The very next day, on October 13th at 9:22 a.m., Lauren contacted university police again, this time reporting that she had received more text messages that she believed were from Melvin or his friends. Lauren said she was being blackmailed, and the text demanded money in exchange for not posting compromising photos of her and her with Melvin online. She informed the dispatcher that she talked with Melvin, suspecting that he was involved, but he lied and said that he was being blackmailed too. Lauren said she sent $1,000 to an account as demanded in hopes of keeping the photos private. The dispatcher took the information and passed it over to Officer Miguel Darris. Lauren told Alex about the blackmail and how she contacted the campus police. Alex told her she needed to go in person. So, on Saturday, October 13th at 11:16 a.m., Lauren and Alex went to the campus police. Officer Darris and another officer came out to speak with the girls. The entire thing was conducted right there in the lobby of the campus police station. Neither Darris nor the other officer ever once, when the girls were there, took them into a room to talk privately about what was happening. Lauren and Alex addressed concerns that Lauren lived on the first floor and suggested that Lauren be moved to a different housing. They told the officers how Melvin was a sex offender, and Alex had to actually Google it and show it to the officers herself, instead of them running his name through the database. Officer Darris wrote the report and kept telling the girls this was all just a scam. Lauren filled out the report. The officer gave her a case number and said the detective currently wasn't in the office and that Lauren would hear back by Tuesday. Over the next few days, Lauren spoke to Officer Miguel Darris by phone, in person, by text messages, and eventually called the Salt Lake City Police Department, which referred her back to campus police. The case was assigned to an on-call detective, Kayla Daloff. Her commanding officer, Sergeant Corey Newville, told Dolph not to come in. No one in the campus police department checked Melvin's parole status. Later that evening, at 5:45 p.m., Lauren called the Salt Lake City Police Department. She tells them how she's been blackmailed for money. The Salt Lake City dispatcher tells Lauren she's going to turn her over to the campus police to handle it. Lauren tells her she's already spoken with them, but also wanted to call Salt Lake City Police and inform them as well. Lauren gets transferred to the campus police. She asks when an arrest would be made, given the information that she provided. The campus dispatcher tells Lauren she can talk to an officer if she wants, and that the dispatcher can arrange that. Lauren said, quote, "Yeah, that sounds good," end quote. Lauren was still continuously being harassed and receiving messages. Lauren messaged Officer Dara's screenshots of the blackmail threats that had the photos. She was frequently in contact with Officer Dara's by phone, text, and email. In an article from the Salt Lake Tribune, Officer Dara's displayed at least one of the intimate images that Lauren had shared with him for the investigation while showing another campus officer his phone. The U has said it was unaware of the display until the Tribune inquired about it in 2019. Another officer told the Tribune that Dara's bragged about being able to look at the image whenever he wanted. A state investigation into the incident was launched after the Tribune's report, and it confirmed that the display occurred. On October 16th, a parole agent spoke with Melvin, but did not know about Lauren's allegations because the university police had not communicated with the adult probation and parole. Melvin's use of social media violated his probation, and involvement in a new crime also would have been a violation and could have sent him back to jail. Between October 16th through the 19th, Kayla Dolph, the campus detective assigned to Lauren's case, worked on other investigations. On October 19th at 4:48 p.m., Lauren called the Salt Lake City Police Department to ask for more help. Salt Lake City's dispatcher tells her to call campus police, which she does. Detective Dolph returned Lauren's call and said she would not return to work until October 23rd. The detective tells Lauren to call campus dispatch if she gets another message that appears to be an attempt to lure her somewhere. From October 19th through the 22nd, security video shows Melvin at various campus locations, apparently looking for Lauren. Over the weekend, Lauren sent 3 screenshots to campus police showing Melvin's criminal history and his offender details. On October 22nd at 10:39 a.m., Lauren talked to Officer Darris after she had received another text message from a spoof number, with the message claiming to be from Deputy Chief Rick McLennan asking her to go to the police station. The only logical conclusion was that Melvin had sent it to get Lauren to leave her dorm, but Darris never reported Lauren's concerns to any of his superiors at the department. From 3 to 6 p.m., Melvin waited for Lauren with some of her friends at the dorms. By 8:20 p.m., Melvin confronted Lauren in the parking lot outside of her residence hall. She was returning from a night class and on the phone with her mom when she screamed, "No, no, no." Melvin grabbed her and she dropped her phone and belongings. He then dragged her to a different spot in the lot, forcing her into the back seat of a car that he had driven to campus. At 8:23 p.m., Matt McCluskey, Lauren's father, called the campus police dispatch. He relayed what Jill McCluskey had heard on the phone and asked officers to respond. We're going to take a listen to Matt's call with campus police dispatch.
Security, how can I help you?
Hi, is this the University of Utah?
This is. How can I help you?
Okay, this is a dispatch center in the state of Washington. I have a 911 call to transfer you. Hold on one moment, please.
Okay.
Sir, are you still there?
Hi.
Okay, you're on the phone with the dispatch for the University of Utah.
Hi, this is Chris with the University of Utah Police.
Hi, my daughter, Lauren McCluskey, was talking to her mom, and then she just started saying, no, 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 no. And it sounded like someone might have been grabbing her or something.
Okay. How long ago was this?
This was just 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
Phil, can you come down here?
Does she live on campus?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Listen.
Okay, and what's her name?
Lauren McCluskey.
Okay, will you spell that last name for me?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, will you spell the last name for me?
Yes. McCluskey.
Okay. Okay, and what's her date of birth? Okay. And you said the phone line went dead?
Does your furry friend deserve the best? Of course they do. That's why there's Box Dog, a seasonal box of premium products designed just for your pooch. With Box Dog, you can spoil your pet with a fun and exciting selection of high-quality items. From gourmet treats and chew toys to comfy apparel and unique accessories, Box Dog has it all. Each box is packed with hand-selected products guaranteed to wag tails and bring joy. But Box Dog isn't just about products. It's about providing a personalized experience for your pet. You can customize each box to suit your dog's specific needs and preferences, ensuring they get what they love every time. And the best part? Box Dog delivers straight to your door, making it a convenient and hassle-free way to keep your pet pampered. So why wait? Treat your dog to the luxury they deserve with Box Dog, because every dog deserves a box full of happiness. Order your Box Dog today. Go to boxdog.pxf.io/ccpod. That's boxdog.pxf.io/ccpod.
Yeah, the phone line went dead.
Okay, have you tried calling her back?
No, I'm sorry. The phone is not dead, but we can't. She must have dropped it, and the phone connection is still here. Do you want the number? Or?
Yes, please. Open. Okay, and do you happen to know what building or room number she lives in?
I'm sorry?
Do you know what room number she lives in and what building?
Yes. What building? Her house. What building is she living? Okay, she lives in the it's not Sage Point, but it's one of the other ones, building 830 something. Okay.
Building, one is after.
Okay, just concentrate there. Okay. So it's building
26 room 92 111.
And it's been
She was walking from GC 1570
Okay.
to her car.
to her car.
All right. And what was your name?
Pardon?
What's your name?
My name is Matt McCluskey.
Okay. Okay, and what's a good phone number for you? All right.
had broken up with a boy
Okay.
or a man recently, and he's a pretty tall black guy. Sean Fields is his name.
Okay. Has he made any threats or anything like that?
His friends were kind of harassing her a little bit. Well, they were. The campus police were involved with that.
Yes. Okay, I have an officer right here that dealt with that. Let me talk to him for 1 second. I'll be right back on with you, okay? I'll still be able to hear you, but you won't be able to hear me.
Okay. I know. We have to concentrate on helping. Okay. So the officer's there who knows about her situation. He's telling us that. Yeah, keep it on. Could you go up and bring my cell phone, because I gave him my phone number, okay? It's upstairs in my closet or on my nightstand, in case they call that number. Okay, let's focus. Hello? Hello? Hello?
All right, Matt, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. All right, and you said she was walking to her car from what building?
From the GC, which is, what is that? Something Commons.
Gardner Commons?
Oh, someone's talking on her phone. Hello?
Hi, I have a backpack and ID and a phone.
Okay. Could you just stay there? I think she was mugged.
Is she okay? I was about to call the cops.
I'm talking to the cops
Okay.
now, but maybe
Somebody found her backpack.
someone picked up her phone and backpack.
I'm trying to get a good location. All right, where is that backpack out? Can you get a location for me? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm up on the edge of campus by storm.
Hi, Matt, are you there?
Oh, yeah. I think they're pretty
Right by her apartment.
right by her apartment.
It's right by her apartment.
I'm sorry. Please repeat that again.
I'm showing her apartment as.
Yeah.
And you said it's right by that building?
Well, I think so. Maybe this gal should call the cops. Tell her to just call the cops directly. Would that be better?
Yeah. If she could call us directly, that would be awesome. I'm going to let you go, and if you hear anything else, give us a call back, please.
Okay.
Police were dispatched to the parking lot and found Lauren's belongings. More police officers were called in. A search began of her dorm room, the parking lot, and the surrounding area. At 8:38 p.m., Melvin had called a woman that he met on a dating site and asked her to pick him up. They went to dinner at a restaurant, drove by the state capitol, and went to her home downtown where he took a shower. She then dropped him off at a coffee shop. At 9:55 p.m., while searching the parking lot, police found Lauren's body in the back seat of a car. She had been shot at least 7 times. At 9:56 p.m., a secure in-place alert was sent campus-wide, telling the university community that there had been a shooting. At 10:09 p.m., an alert was sent with the suspect information. Updates were sent about every 30 minutes. At 11:46 p.m., an alert lifting the secure in-place order was sent after the university police determined that Melvin had left the campus. On October 23rd, at 12:01 a.m., an alert was sent identifying the suspect as Melvin Rowland. The woman who had picked up and went to dinner with Melvin called the police after seeing his mugshot on the TV. She told them that they had met on a dating app and that he said his name was Apollo Santos. At 12:46 a.m., Salt Lake City police found Melvin and followed him on foot. He entered Trinity AME Church at 239 East Martin Luther King Boulevard, 600 South. As police entered the church, Melvin fatally shot himself. At 1:47 a.m., an alert was sent saying that Melvin had been located and was no longer a threat. Later on October 23rd, University Police Chief Dale Brophy told reporters that his officers could not find Melvin in the days before the shooting, although no one had been looking for him. He incorrectly said Melvin had walked away from a halfway house, a statement the university later corrected. The next day, on October 24th, the Department of Corrections revealed that a parole agent had spoken to Melvin on October 16th, unaware that 4 days earlier, Lauren had begun calling university police to accuse him of harassing her. The campus community came together for a vigil to honor Lauren McCluskey. On October 25th, in an emotional press conference, Brophy revealed for the first time that Melvin had extorted Lauren on October 13th, threatening to release compromising photos if she didn't pay $1,000. Brophy also revealed that Melvin stalked Lauren on campus for at least 3 days before killing her and spent 3 hours before the shooting hanging out with her friends in her residence hall. Brophy also said that the man who had loaned Rowland the gun contacted police after seeing media reports about the slaying. The University of Utah president, Ruth Watkins, said she would ask an outside investigator to review university police protocols, but said the review would not examine the decisions of individual officers. In his monthly news conference, Governor Gary Herbert announced that he had also ordered an investigation of the Utah Department of Corrections and the Board of Pardons and Parole to look into possible mistakes there that may have contributed to Lauren's death. The state's Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing announced that it was investigating unlicensed activity by Diamond Security Group, the company that hired Melvin, under the alias Sean Fields, as a bouncer at Salt Lake City restaurants. It had a security contract with the London Bell, where Melvin had met Lauren. Black Diamond Security Group said that it had ended its relationship with Melvin about a month earlier. Within a few hours, the DOPL issued a citation and a cease and desist order against Black Diamond, saying that the company was not licensed to provide security in the state. The state said that the company never did a background check on Melvin before hiring him. More of Melvin's violent past was also uncovered. That included an attempted sexual assault of a teenage girl in 2004, a 2012 parole hearing in which he admitted to raping the teen and 2 other women, and a 2016 admission that he had threatened that, quote, if an agent were to come conduct a field visit, he might become violent, end quote. On October 26th, University of Utah trustees talked in a hastily arranged closed-door meeting about the competence of the university police and administrators in the wake of Lauren's death. The next day, 2 women who had briefly dated Melvin earlier that year described his pattern of lies and manipulation to the Salt Lake Tribune, including falsehoods about his age and not disclosing his criminal record. On October 29th, released police records revealed that Melvin was suspected, but never charged, with burglarizing 2 women he dated in 2015. On November 2nd, Watkins changed course, announcing that the independent review she described in an October 25th news conference would look at actions taken by individual officers in the week before Lauren was killed. The team included 2 former commissioners of the Utah Department of Public Safety, John T. Nielsen, who served in that post from 1985 through 1988, and is also an attorney, and Keith Squires, who retired as commissioner in August. Former University of Wisconsin-Madison Police Chief Sue Riesling was selected as the third team member. She has since become the executive director of the International Association of Campus Law Enforcement Administrators. On November 13th, Jill McCluskey tweeted that, quote, "The person who lent Lauren's killer the gun needs to be prosecuted," end quote. On December 19th, the independent review team released its report. The review of the Utah Department of Corrections and Board of Pardons and Parole was also released. Watkins said the report about the university police, quote, "does not offer any reason to believe that Lauren's slaying could have been prevented. Instead, the report offers weaknesses, identifies issues, and provides us with a roadmap for strengthening security on our campus," end quote. But Bill Nielsen listed multiple significant missed opportunities, including the reports to housing officials by Lauren's friends and the days when the detective assigned to her concerns was off and the case was not assigned to another officer during that time. Among its recommendations, the review said the campus Department of Public Safety is understaffed, that it needs to hire a victim advocate, that it needs to develop a coordinated working relationship with existing victim advocates elsewhere on campus, that it needs to train all of its officers about interpersonal violence issues, and it needs to adopt a lethality assessment already used by many other Utah police departments in interpersonal violence cases. Lauren's parents spoke out the next day, questioning Watkins' assertion that their daughter's death could not have been prevented. They also called for police officers involved in her case to be disciplined. On January 25, 2019, Lauren's parents, frustrated by the lack of action, went on ABC's Good Morning America to talk about their daughter. They again called for discipline, and for the first time, they said they were considering a lawsuit. A few weeks later, on February 7th, a Utah lawmaker drafted a bill prompted by Lauren's murder. She called for Utah's public colleges to develop detailed response plans for cases of sexual assault, stalking, and dating and domestic violence, with an emphasis on training officers how to recognize warning signs. Matt McCluskey later testified on behalf of the bill, and it was signed into law by Utah Governor Gary Herbert on March 29th. Hey, crime connoisseurs. If you're like me, you love diving into a good book. I especially love finding a book about cases we cover. But sometimes it's hard to find the time to sit and read. We live in an on-the-go society. Thankfully, Audible makes it easy to instantly access the books we love without sacrificing our time. With over 180,000 audiobooks and more, you will undoubtedly find one that will grip you and leave you not wanting to pull away while still being able to do other things. You can get a free 30-day trial membership by going to audibletrial.com/ccpod to start listening to your favorite books. That's audibletrial.com/ccpod for your free 30-day trial membership. On what would have been Lauren's 22nd birthday, Watkins announced that the school had made significant changes to ensure student safety. The U increased training for officers to recognize warning signs of domestic and dating violence. It updated policies, created new task force, and shared information across campus, including sending safety reports from housing staff to the police. She repeated that no campus officers would be disciplined in this case. Watkins said, quote, "I do not believe it serves the ultimate mission of improving campus safety to fire anyone who acted in good faith," end quote. On February 20th, a second bill to come in response to Lauren's death stalled in committee. The legislation would open the way for lawsuits against individuals whose borrowed firearms are used in a felony. It didn't pass in 2019 legislative session or when it was brought up again in 2020. But the sponsor, Representative Andrew Stoddard, has pledged to continue working on it. On February 25th, the Utah Department of Corrections released the parole log for Melvin. It showed that he had a few violations: using a dating app, testing positive for marijuana, and missing some counseling appointments, but he mostly got high remarks. On March 7th, Detective Dolliff, who was assigned to the investigation of Lauren's concerns, left the university's police department. It was later learned that she was fired after making similar mistakes on another female student's case. A 17-year-old girl had reported being threatened by a male student at the U. He had trapped her in his room, she said, and then he left her a voicemail saying that he was going to kill her after she was able to get out. Dolliff left work for the weekend without taking any action. She now works for the Weber County Sheriff's Office. On March 13th, federal charges were filed against Nathan Daniel Vogel, the man who loaned his gun to Melvin. Vogel had a friend buy the gun for him in September of 2018 because he didn't think he could get one after being generally discharged from the Army, a step below an honorable discharge. He was charged with unlawfully purchasing the weapon. To charge Vogel under state law in connection with the loan, prosecutors would have to show he knowingly gave the gun to aid in the crime or knew Melvin couldn't own a gun because of his criminal background. Vogel later pled guilty, and he was sentenced to 3 years of supervised release. On June 5th, the University of Utah's police department held an awards ceremony honoring employees for how they responded to Lauren's concerns before her slaying and media questions after her death. They celebrated a dispatcher and 2 administrators, despite the independent review that found several staffers mishandled her case. Lauren's parents said the honors seemed disrespectful and out of touch. Matt McCluskey suggested the ceremony borders on obscene. The U later apologized for including Lauren's name in the program. On June 27th, Lauren's parents filed a $56 million lawsuit against the U. They alleged that the campus police could have prevented their daughter's killing and that the school's president was irresponsible in insisting otherwise. Jill and Matt McCluskey said it was a last resort. They wanted an apology, but said that they never got one. They asked the school to fire the officers involved, but that didn't happen. They tried working with President Watkins to remedy the situation, but said she would not respond to their emails. The lawsuit was filed against Officer Darras, Detective Dolliff, the university, and the state, which funds the public school. It also named then campus police chief Dale Brophy and officials in the housing department. It called Lauren's death tragic, avoidable, and untimely, and accused the university of refusing to respond, making it liable. It said that the student, her family, and friends all reached out more than 20 times to report concerns. The biggest jab of the complaint is that the U failed in its obligation to follow Title IX. This federal law requires schools to swiftly investigate reports of sexual violence and provide services to individuals who report discrimination or violence. That same day, the U released reports showing it had spent nearly $60,000 for public relations advice after Lauren was killed. On July 1st, Officer Darras, who was also supposed to handle Lauren's case, was disciplined for making the same mistakes again on another woman's case. He was assigned to respond to a call reporting a domestic violence incident in married housing on campus in February. Darras went to talk to the woman and provide her with information about how to report assault by a partner. When he arrived, the suspect was there too. Darris let the man stay as he interviewed the concerned woman. According to his discipline letter, he did not call for backup, which the police department requires for cases involving fights or abuse between partners when both parties are present. He also did not check if the man was on parole, even after the man attempted to call his parole agent in his presence. Darris accepted the warning without appeal, and it was placed in his file. The U began requiring professors to include a statement in their course syllabuses that lists the phone number for the campus police and directs students to call there with concerns. On August 15th, the U announced more changes in response to Lauren's death. A $1 million investment went to improving building alarms, having police patrol outside of night classes, and creating a new transportation system. On August 26th, President Ruth Watkins publicly took questions from faculty and students for the first time since Lauren was killed. It had been nearly a year since her death at this point. She faced pushback, though, for declining to speak about officers' discipline in the case. She said, quote, "Of course, this is not at all an appropriate forum for me to talk about individual personnel cases and some of the nuances of what was different between case A and case B." End quote. On September 17th, Officer Darris resigned from the University Police Department. He transferred to work as an officer at the Logan Police Department in northern Utah. On September 21st, the U filed its first response to the lawsuit filed by the McCluskeys. In it, the school suggested that, quote, "no matter how heartbreaking, its officers had no obligation to protect Lauren from her attacker," end quote. The school's attorneys argued that her killer wasn't a U employee or student and had no connection to the university, so it was not responsible for his actions and had no way to control him. And they added he was often on campus only because Lauren had, at times, willingly invited him to her dorm room. The university's filing concluded, quote, "liability for this would require that schools be guardians of every student's safety from any act of relationship violence, no matter where the act arises or who perpetrates it," end quote. The filing immediately touched off circumstances of the U, with some accusing the school of victim blaming. The Utah Attorney General's office, representing the U in the ongoing case, released a response defending its arguments. In a surprising public statement on September 26th, student leaders at the university condemned the administration, criticizing how it handled fears reported by Lauren, denied responsibility after her murder, and created an atmosphere in which students worry campus police won't protect them. It's the first time the U's student government has published such a formal critique. A university administrator responded shortly after, saying it would take time to rebuild trust. Tensions continue to rise. Nearly 100 students, mainly women, walked out of class and staged a protest on October 21st to discuss their concerns with the U's police department. It came one day before the first anniversary of student-athlete Lauren McCluskey's murder. The group somberly stood outside the school's administration building and carried posters that asked, "Where were you when Lauren needed you?" President Watkins responded by saying that Lauren's murder revealed problems on campus. It was one of her strongest statements on the case to date. On November 23rd, the U received a $300,000 federal grant to improve how it responds to cases of stalking and dating and domestic violence on campus. 2 days later, powerhouse attorney Christine Durham, a former Utah Supreme Court Chief Justice, joined the legal team representing the McCluskeys. On February 4th, 2020, another bill prompted by Lauren's case was drafted by the Utah Senate. It aimed to improve how Utah universities responded to sexual assault and strengthened coordination between on-campus and off-campus law enforcement. It was also signed into law. Thanks to the Tribune reporting on May 17th that Officer Darris showed off explicit photos of Lauren McCluskey to his coworkers before she was killed, the university confirmed that display occurred, making that statement in response to a continued push by the Tribune to obtain public records about how the case was handled. Still, the U said it didn't know about the inappropriate behavior and abuse of evidence until after Darris left the department in September of 2019. According to two fellow officers, Darris showed off at least one of the images to a male coworker. One officer said Darris bragged about getting to look at them whenever he wanted. That report kicked off a wave of responses. The Logan Police Department, where Darris worked, pledged to do an investigation. The U has also asked the Utah Department of Public Safety to thoroughly review the situation after saying its internal process was insufficient. Darris hired attorneys who denied the display occurred. Meanwhile, several lawmakers also proposed bills to address officers handling sensitive information and setting up rules to punish those who abuse it. The school's chief safety officer later responded that he's restructured how police officers on campus deal with evidence. Any pictures that an officer receives on a cell phone as evidence must be entered unaltered into the department's evidence database by the end of the individual's shift, and then they need to be deleted from their personal devices. On June 8th, Jill and Matthew McCluskey filed a second lawsuit against the U, this time in state court. It alleged that the school denied their daughter equal protection under Utah's constitution. On June 29th, the University of U announced that it would overhaul its troubled police department, requiring more public reporting of misconduct, hiring a new command staff to oversee officers, and devoting a division to victim services with a special focus on sexual violence. The move has been the most far-reaching of the university's response to Lauren's death. There would be 5 main divisions: police, community services focused on victims, emergency management, security for the main campus, and security for the university's hospital. The change also came after the U released a campus climate survey. It showed that students' trust in officers was down significantly. When the survey was previously conducted in the spring of 2018 before Lauren's murder, a majority of the students said that they felt that the university did enough to protect students. With the same question asked in 2020, less than half did. On July 21st, the University of Utah filed its own lawsuit, saying it shouldn't have to release counseling records about Lauren, who spoke to a school psychologist in the days and hours before she was killed. Her parents had asked for the documents. However, the U argued that those should be considered confidential even after death. On August 5th, the Utah Department of Public Safety released its report confirming that Darris showed off the intimate photos of Lauren in the days before her death. Investigators found the images were displayed to at least 3 of Darris's male co-workers without a work-related reason. One employee recounted that Officer Miguel Darris commented specifically about getting to, quote, look at them whenever he wants, end quote. And that employee admitted that he too made crude remarks when seeing the images, which Lauren had given to Darris as evidence in her extortion case. Another said that the other officers chimed in, saying Darris was lucky to get to work on the case and that Lauren was a cute girl. On another occasion, Darris showed a sergeant one of the nude photos of Lauren while they were at the crime scene on the night she was fatally shot on campus after his superior said, quote, I wonder what she looked like, end quote. The investigators couldn't determine whether Darris had saved or downloaded the intimate photos to his personal phone, but the report notes Darris switched phones after Lauren was killed. So much of the data later recovered on his device was encrypted or corrupted. 3 officers at the U were fired for not speaking up about the display sooner. On August 7th, the Logan Police Department fired Miguel Deris for showing off the photos while he was previously working at the U. Logan Police Chief Gary Jensen said that the abuse of evidence is, quote, inconsistent with the high expectations and standards placed upon our officers by the community, end quote. On September 22nd, a month shy of the second-year anniversary of Lauren's murder, the U opened a new center for violence prevention founded in part to research intimate partner violence after Lauren's death. On October 15th, Salt Lake County District Attorney Sim Gill announced that his office declined to prosecute Miguel Deris over showing off the photos. While he believes the officer's actions were, quote, definitely reckless, end quote, Gill said there is no Utah law for addressing this type of police misconduct. Gill said, quote, we realized there was no real statute that we could use for this case. We're incensed like everyone else by this behavior. It was inappropriate. But if there's not a statute, there's nothing we can do, end quote. Gill's office examined whether it could charge Deris under the revenge porn law in Utah. With that, sharing or displaying a compromising photo of someone without the person's consent can be prosecuted. The statute, though, requires proof that the person in the images was harmed. Lauren's death made that impossible. Members of the person's family being hurt, such as Lauren's parents, don't count. Jill and Matt McCluskey said that they were disappointed in Gill for not pursuing justice in their daughter's case. 6 days later, on October 21st, about 40 protesters marched around Gill's office, rallying against the district attorney for not filing charges against Deris. The next day, acknowledging for the first time that the on-campus murder of track star Lauren McCluskey was preventable, the University of Utah agreed that it could have better protected her and failed. And it would pay out $13.5 million to her parents as part of a legal settlement. The settlement announcement came a day later, on the 2-year anniversary of Lauren's death. At a news conference, the U president, Ruth Watkins, said she was sincerely sorry for the loss of Lauren. She read from a statement saying, quote, the university acknowledges and deeply regrets that it did not handle Lauren's case as it should have, and that, at the time, its employees failed to fully understand and respond appropriately to Lauren's situation, end quote. The school built an indoor track to be named for Lauren and used by the track and field team on which she competed at the U. With the new facility, Jill McCluskey said her daughter, quote, will always have a presence on the campus, end quote. The family walked around the current outdoor track to honor their daughter on the anniversary. Additionally, the new Center for Violence Prevention at the U, created partly in response to Lauren's death, would now bear her name. On January 12, 2021, Ruth Watkins announced that she would be stepping down in April to take a new job with Strata Impact, a national education nonprofit. In an interview with the Tribune, she acknowledged that Lauren's case was part of the reason for her departure. She had led the university in the top post for 3 years and was the institution's first female president. On February 3rd, state lawmakers publicly released several bills for the general sessions spurred by Lauren's case and the concerns over Deris's showing off of her photos. One from Representative Craig Hall passed and now strengthens the existing law around revenge porn, adding that officers can be charged with sharing sensitive photos of the victims. Representative Andrew Stoddard also got through a few pieces updating language in the state code on investigating officers for misconduct. Another that passed was from Senator Yanni Iwamoto, which aims to prevent problematic officers from easily jumping departments in Utah. But her proposal to create a student commission to look at safety issues was gutted and stripped of that provision. Instead, it only requires campus police agencies to collect more data on crimes. On March 3rd, legislators gave final approval to the settlement agreement between Lauren's parents and the university. On April 6th, Watkins served her last day as the university president. And on April 13th, Brophy, the former police chief, and Darras, the officer who showed explicit photos of Lauren, took the first step toward filing a lawsuit against a government agency. Brophy, who received a full year's salary and a $6,000 party when he retired amid criticism of his department's mishandling of Lauren's case, says he wasn't treated fairly and wants the school to pay him millions. Darras, who quit his job at the U before his misconduct was investigated, claims he deserves millions too. Also joining their lawsuit was the former deputy police chief, who stepped down and declined to participate in that investigation, and two other former officers, arguing they were all mistreated in the fallout from the high-profile case. They are seeking $10 million from the University of Utah. In 2022, as the 4th anniversary of Lauren's death approached, Matt and Jill met two reporters at a hotel in Moscow, Idaho, a short drive from Pullman. They learned some details of ESPN's investigation for the first time. They said they'd be comfortable watching videos from some of the people involved, including Miguel Darras, to offer their reactions. On March 28, 2023, ESPN released Listen on ESPN Plus about Lauren's case. ESPN and 2020 partnered in making a 4-year investigative story about Lauren's case. The 2020 episode is titled Running Out of Time. I will have links to both programs in the source material listed in the show notes. I'm going to read from Lauren's obituary. Her work ethic in the classroom, weight room, and on the track was exceptional. Her teammates and coaches were inspired and amazed at how she never complained, even when the weather was foul or practice was especially tough. Lauren has been described as quiet, but more accurately, she chose her words carefully. Her professors were delighted by how she was engaged and made incisive, on-point comments. In college, she truly blossomed. Lauren never had an unkind word to say about anyone. She loved being with friends and was a great dancer. She had a strong singing voice, loved karaoke, and even did stand-up comedy. Lauren was a Christian. She grew up attending Community Congregational United Church of Christ, and in college attended Capital Church in Salt Lake City. She was a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes at the University of Utah. She was a deep, independent thinker with an interest in philosophy and a strong sense of right and wrong. She was a gifted writer, winning a high school award in her junior year of high school as the top writer at her prep school and excelling in college. Even her texts and emails were beautifully composed. Lauren enrolled in electives on grammar and logic for pure intellectual enjoyment. She was looking forward to graduating and finding a job in public relations or academic advising, preferably someplace warm. Lauren served as a communications intern at Cortland Place Retirement Community, where her grandparents lived. In this internship, she designed and completed a picture dictionary with stories that she wrote about the residents. She enjoyed interviewing them and taking their pictures for the project. Her grandparents received wonderful feedback from their neighbors that they loved the book and interacting with Lauren. A model student athlete, Lauren had a 3.77 GPA and applied to graduate in spring of 2019. Recognizing her academic accomplishments, the University of Utah conferred a posthumous Bachelor's of Science degree in communications. And that's the case of Lauren McCluskey. If you or someone you know needs help because of domestic violence or abuse, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. You can also text START to 88788. or visit www.thehotline.org. Be sure to follow on Instagram at Crime Connoisseurs. You can find Crime Connoisseurs wherever you listen to your podcasts. In the meantime, keep it classy, connoisseurs, and I'll catch you on the next case. Are you tired of settling for subpar cat food? It's time to upgrade your cat's dining experience with Smalls, the ultimate gourmet meal for your feline companion. Say goodbye to generic one-size-fits-all cat food. With Smalls, you can rest assured that your furry friend is getting the nutrition they deserve. Join the thousands of cat owners who have made the switch to Smalls and see the difference it can make in your cat's health and happiness. Treat your cat to the finest dining experience with Smalls. Visit smalls.sjv.io/ccpod now to order your first box. That's smalls.sjv.io/ccpod. Choose Smalls because your cat deserves the best.